Well, good morning everyone. We're at day one, morning one of our flying trip up to Cape York, and we've got 4 aircraft going this morning. We've had chops and changes all over the place with who's going and who's not, but at the moment we've got 4 aircraft, and today we are heading up to a cattle station about halfway up the Cape called Musgrave. And Musgrave has got a landing strip and a roadhouse, and that's about it. So we're going to go coastal so we get a bit more scenic flight. And the plan for today is just about 2.5 hours of flying, and then we should have This year, our long flying trip is taking us back to Cape York and the Torres Strait. We last did a trip here in 2003, and we decided it was long past time to go back again. Our trip was planned for 9 days, taking a couple of days to get to Horn Island and then radiating out from Horn Island on some book tours and some freewheeling flights ourselves. Even though Thursday Island is the administrative centre of the Torres Straits, there's no airport there, and so we stayed on Horn Island, which is just a short ferry ride from TI. But our first stop was Musgrave Roadhouse, but it's more of a convenience than a necessity. They have fuel, a bed and food, and not much else, but that's all we needed for day one. Our second stop is Bramwell Station, which has been recommended to us because it's a really well set up tourist park, and it features nightly live entertainment, good food and a well stocked bar. After Bramwell Station, we've got a short run up the coast around the tip of Cape York and over to Horn Island. From Horn Island we then go on to Weipa. Since none of us have been to Weipa for decades, or in my case never at all, we figured it would be a good place to go and have a look around. After Weipa, our final stop would be Karumba. Most of us had been to Karumba many times before, but one of the group had never been there, so we decided to go. Unfortunately, the person who'd never been before ended up being one of the people who didn't do the trip. So we went anyway just because it was part of the itinerary. And it's always worthwhile going to watch the sunset, sitting under the beach almonds at the pub on the point.
Well, we finally managed to get away. We're a little bit late. We were hoping about 8 o'clock, but we got away about 9. And we're just north of Mariba at the moment. And there's a bit of a lumpy crosswind, but it's clearing up a bit in front of us, and our plan is to go down to the coast, so it should be nice and smooth down there. So at the moment we have 4 aircraft going today, and they're all in front of me. So we're now heading west. Our lead aircraft was telling us that the cloud on the coast was getting lower and lower, and it was starting to look like it wouldn't be a good way to keep going. So we have turned west, and we're now heading out toward a cattle station called Maitland Downs, and then from Maitland Downs we'll track north, and we're way west of the clouds, and so it should be a nice trip from here on. But we won't be on the coast for a while yet, but that's fine. The good thing about flying on these trips is we just work it around the weather and fly safe. Musgrave, which is our destination for the day. We've had a change of direction, so we didn't take as long to get here. Our first aircraft is just going into the circuit at the moment, and looks like we're going to have an early lunch. Well, I'm on descent now into Musgrave Roadhouse, our first stop for the trip. And it's a bit rough here, 36 knots of wind at the moment, but that's just where I'm going through at 2,000 feet. See what it's like when you get on the ground. They don't seem to have had any problems, so two planes on the ground already. Musgrave Roadhouse traffic. Jabirus Delta Oscar Delta is joining left downwind for 18 full stop, Musgrave Roadhouse.
Well, here we are. We are now at Musgrave Roadhouse, and Musgrave Roadhouse is basically just that. It's a roadhouse mostly to service the traffic going up to Cape York, and also quite a lot of semi-trailers going past. Musgrave was one of the original 7 relay stations built in the 1800s for the overland telegraph wire that joined the tip of Cape York to the rest of Australia. The building on the left behind me is the original building built in the 1800s. So we had the afternoon spare, so we did a bit of exploring, walked down to the creek and along the creek bank, had a look around the back of the establishment. Not much to see, but worth a bit of time spent. And here's a couple of disreputable looking characters. And then when the afternoon cooled down a little bit, we got the refueler and we went over and topped up all the tanks on the planes. After refueling, we headed over to the cafe for a few drinks and a country-sized steak and chips. Once we'd eaten as much as we could of that massive meal, we headed back to the fairly basic but comfortable rooms for an early night to get ready for the next day's flying.